to touch something, your skin, anywhere, your hand, your arm, your face. Feel it, smooth, right? Maybe a scar here or there, but mostly whole. Now I want you to think about something that hurt you, really hurt you. A year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Close your eyes for a moment. Remember. Now touch that place again. Your skin, where the pain used to be. It's gone, isn't it? Not the memory, but the pain itself. The sharp edge, the burning, the weight. That's the thing about pain that nobody tells you. It always passes. Not because you're strong, not because you're special, because that's what pain does. It arrives, it stays, and then it leaves. But here's the problem. When you're in the middle of it, when it's happening right now, when it feels like it will never end, you can't see the other side. You can't feel the future. You can't imagine a version of yourself that doesn't hurt. I know, because I've been there. I've been in the hospital bed, watching the ceiling, wondering if I'd ever walk again. I've been in the empty apartment, surrounded by boxes, wondering if I'd ever love again. I've been on the floor at 3 a.m., breathless, wondering if I'd ever breathe again. And every single time, someone said to me, "This pain is temporary." And I wanted to scream, "You don't know that!" But they were right, every single time. And today, I'm going to show you why. Not with platitudes, with truth, with science, with stories, with something you can hold on to when the pain feels like forever. Because pain is temporary, but you're permanent. Let's start with the science, because facts help when feelings don't. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is not a sign you're broken. Pain is not evidence that life is against you. Pain is a signal. Your nervous system sends pain signals when something needs attention. Physical pain says something in your body needs care. Emotional pain says something in your heart needs healing. Think about a fire alarm. When it screams, it's annoying, it's overwhelming, it demands your attention. But the fire alarm is not the fire. The alarm is just the messenger, and eventually the alarm stops. Even if the fire continues for a while, the alarm itself stops screaming. Here's what I want you to understand. You are not your pain. You are not the person who was hurt. You are not the memory that haunts you. You are not the grief that weighs on you. You are not the anxiety that wakes you at 3 a.m. You are the one who feels it. You are the witness. You are the survivor. And the witness always outlasts the pain. Let me tell you about people who thought their pain would never end. The man who couldn't walk. A young man broke his back. Doctors said he'd never walk again, never work again, never live independently again. He spent months in a hospital bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if this was the rest of his life. He wanted to die. He said that publicly. The pain was so overwhelming, so permanent feeling that death seemed like the only escape. His name is Christopher Reeve, Superman. He never walked again, but he lived. He directed movies. He wrote books. He became an advocate for spinal cord research. He found love. He found purpose. He found meaning. The pain didn't disappear, but it changed. It softened. It became something he could carry instead of something that crushed him. The woman who lost everything. A woman lost her husband, her children, her home, everything she'd built. She spent years in darkness, years wondering why she was still here, years believing the pain would never end. Her name is Maya Angelou. She wrote about pain. She spoke about pain. She transformed her pain into poetry that has healed millions. These stories aren't here to minimize your pain. They're here to show you something. Pain doesn't last forever, but the person you become because of it does. I want to give you a framework, something to hold on to when you're in the middle of it. Stage 1, The impact. This is when it happens. The accident, the diagnosis, the breakup, the loss, the betrayal. This stage feels like drowning, like you can't breathe, like the world has stopped and you're the only one still moving. In this stage, nothing helps. Words feel empty. People feel distant. You feel alone. This stage doesn't last. I know it feels like it will, but it doesn't. The human body and mind cannot sustain this level of intensity forever. Stage 2, the descent. This is when you realize this isn't temporary, that you're going to be in this for a while. The shock wears off, the numbness fades, and the real pain begins. This is the hardest stage, because now you have to face it. You have to feel it. You have to live with it. This is where most people think they'll never get out. But here's the secret. The descent is not the destination. You are not falling forever. You are falling towards something, toward a new understanding, a new strength, a new you. Stage 3, the ascent. This is when you start to notice small changes. The weight is still there, but it's not crushing you anymore. The memory is still there, but it doesn't ambush you anymore. The pain is still there, but you can breathe around it. This stage doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, almost invisible. One day you'll notice you laughed, really laughed, without guilt. One day you'll notice you slept through the night. One day you'll notice you're thinking about the future instead of the past. And you'll realize the pain is still there, but it's not the only thing anymore. Here's what I've learned about healing from pain. Healing is not returning to who you were. You will never be the person you were before the pain. That person is gone, and that's not a tragedy. That's growth. The tree doesn't return to being a seed. The butterfly doesn't return to being a caterpillar. The diamond doesn't return to being coal. Healing is becoming someone new. You will carry scars. You will carry memories. You will carry lessons. But you will also carry strength, wisdom, compassion, depth. The people who have never suffered are not shallow, but they don't have your depth. The people who have never lost are not empty, but they don't have your appreciation. The people who have never failed are not failures, but they don't have your resilience. Your pain is not your identity, but it is your teacher. And if you let it, it will teach you things that nothing else can. The 3 things to do when pain feels permanent. Here's your action plan. For when the pain feels like it will never end, name the timeline. Every pain has a timeline, even if you can't see it. Physical pain, 6 to 8 weeks for bones, 12 to 18 months for nerves. Grief, 6 to 12 months for acute pain, 2 to 5 years for integration. Heartbreak, 3 to 6 months for the sharp edge, 1 to 3 years for closure. These aren't exact, but they remind you this is temporary. 2, find one anchor. When the pain feels overwhelming, find one thing that anchors you to the present moment. Your breath, the feeling of your feet on the floor, a song, a photo, a person. Hold on to it. Let it remind you, I am still here. This moment is not forever. 3, talk to your future self. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. The pain has softened. The edges have blurred. You've learned to carry it. What would that version of you say to you right now? Write it down. Read it when the pain feels permanent. I've done this exercise, and my future self always says the same thing. You're going to make it. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you're going to make it. I want to tell you a story about a woman I know. Her name is Sarah. She lost her son when he was 22. Car accident. Instant. For the first year, she didn't leave her house, didn't answer calls, didn't eat properly. The pain was so immense, she couldn't breathe. She told me, I didn't think I'd survive. 2 years later, she started a foundation in her son's name. Scholarships for young people who couldn't afford college. 5 years later, she's helped over 300 students. She still carries the pain. She still cries. She still misses her son every single day. But the pain is not the same. It doesn't crush her anymore. It doesn't define her anymore. She told me something that I'll never forget. The pain hasn't disappeared, but I've grown big enough to carry it. That's what happens. You grow, you expand, you become big enough to hold the pain without being consumed by it. Not because the pain got smaller, because you got bigger. So if you're in pain right now, if it feels like it will never end, if you're wondering how you'll survive, I need you to hear this. You will survive. Not because you're strong enough right now, but because you will become strong enough. The pain is temporary, but the person you're becoming, the person who can carry this pain and still live, the person who can transform this pain into something meaningful, that person is permanent. Breathe one breath. You're still here, and that means everything. The pain will pass, and you will remain.